recovered a fumble at the 45. Play action fake, guns one. It is caught. Touchdown, Spartans. The middle, he's got her hit a scheme. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bixby. Rolls to his right to pressure as he throws. It's picked off. Interception. It's over. Bixby is the state champion in 6A Division II in Oklahoma.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Bixby Spartan Football Coaches Show, which is sponsored by Midwest Sporting Goods. And the Spartans, they get out of the cold temperatures and get a win against the Bartlesville Bruins, and now head on the road to take on the Sand Springs Sandites. Coach, you're firmly in district play now, and you've got some games you just got to kind of continue on to get where you want to be.
Yeah, our first game in actual fall temperatures, you kind of touched on that just a little bit, Mark, and so we were excited to get out there and continue on. And the thing that we talk about with our team each week is controlling your own destiny, and right now we are in control of our own destiny. We're leading the district, and the only people right now that can screw that up is us. And so we're talking about playing our best football when we enter the playoffs, practicing well, and being focused every time we set foot on that field.
Well, it's time that you turn it up a notch. You guys trending up in all areas, really.
Yeah, we started the year out with just such a young ball team, you know, a new quarterback, a new offensive line, new defensive line, had some really good players back, but a lot of big question marks. And so we've been really excited the way our team has progressed. We've had a couple of key wins along there to help our self-confidence. That always helps. But no, the progression has been trending upward, and that's what we got to do.
And we'll talk about who's next on the schedule as you'll take on the Sandites, and yeah, trending up is always a good thing. All right, let's talk about getting into that run and really continuing to trend upward. It takes good practices and guys giving you good looks. Who we got as our practice players of the week?
Such a big emphasis in our program is practicing well, being focused in practice, getting a good look, and the guys that are giving us a good look. You know, one of these guys is a three-way starter, Noah West. He's an outside linebacker. I think had about 7 or 8 tackles this week on defense. Started at right tackle on the offensive line. He's been a tight end in our program, and we asked him to kind of make a selfless move for the team and move to the offensive line. And he's added a real spark there, but he practices well. He coaches the younger guys up, does some things that we want. And one of those younger guys, Tanner Doyle, a young defensive back, wide receiver that we have that, you know, every single day he brings it. And we just appreciate that. We appreciate those guys that give us a good look in practice.
All right, and our practice players of the week, sponsored by Chick-fil-A, will have highlights of the Spartans taking on the Bartlesville Bruins when we come back. The Bixby Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Primo Mitsubishi, where the value always exceeds price. Midwest Sporting Goods, puts the Midwest best on you. RAUSCH Coleman Homes, improving quality of life one home at a time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love for the game. Nowlin ORTHODONTICS, live life smiling. Hot Coffee Design, find us at hotcoffeedesign.com. Advanced Plastics, building partnerships through willingness, versatility, and knowledge. Car Country by Nelson, where you'll be treated like a superstar. Billings Construction Group, our service is unequaled. Western Sun Federal Credit Union, TTCU, the credit union, Allstate Insurance. You're in good hands with Patrick Alford. Matthews Ford, Fleming Construction, Tulsa Bone and Joint, Roofscapes, and by Baker Pools.
I've been a proud patient of Dr. Ryan Nowlin's for the past 5 years with my kids. He really only treats when it's time and he's ready. We came back later and he put braces on my son, who just got them off last week. His teeth look amazing.
Nowlin Orthodontics, we're different. I think the first thing you notice when you walk in the door is going to be an energy and enthusiasm and of a team that really loves what we do, and we like to have fun every day.
What's really been great about Mazda through the years is that they're not afraid to take risk. They will build a car that is more fun to drive. They'll build a car that has better styling. They're partially artists and they're partially race car drivers. We're excited to sell a new Mazda because it simply means that we know that that client got a really great vehicle.
Welcome back. And the Spartans and the Bartlesville Bruins did battle there at Spartan Stadium. Lee Snyder Field, the coach. Bartlesville, you go back a few years ago, they had things really rolling. Not quite where they were, but you never know what you're going to get from them.
No, they've got a new staff and really good scheme. Kids are playing hard, and so we knew we were going to have to be ready to play. And you know, I felt like, you know, their coaches had made a few statements, you know, on the radio and some things like that, that it was going to be a close game. And so our guys were fired up about that and ready to go and get after it. And so right from the very start, we came out ready to play. And let's go ahead and take a look at those highlights, Mark.
All right, the Spartans and the Bartlesville Bruins there on a brisk night in Bixby.
Yeah, we come out playing a little defense. They won the toss and elected to take the ball, and so our defense was pretty excited about getting out on the field there first. And you see him trying to sprint out right there, and Ethan Hall from his outside linebacker position always putting a ton of pressure on the quarterback. And then we come back and run the jet sweep to Brennan, and he reverses field and picks up some positive yards, to be quite honest with you. You know, there's always a pit in your stomach when you reverse field like that, but Brendan usually seems to pick up some positive yards from it, and then Mason pulls the ball down, and we coached him up on this just a little bit. Hey, go ahead and get out of bounds there and save a hit on yourself there, Mason, and then we throw the naked bootleg pass right here to Ethan Hall, and Ethan does a good job showing off his physicality and getting into the end zone. And brings the defense back out, and they're trying to run a little razzle-dazzle trick play, and we don't take the cheese, and we stay in coverage, and you know, they kind of have to eat it, and gives us great field position. You'll see big Noah West in there on the sack trying to strip that ball. Good to have Noah back, starting to get healthy, playing well on both sides, and so he's doing really well. And Cade Cavender there on the comeback, a great ball by Mason, you know, on the deep comeback there, and Mason kind of scrambles around. Offensive line did a nice job of picking up pressure most of the night, and but also Mason likes to get outside the pocket from time to time, and you'll see, I believe that's young Braden Presley there on the stretch play out over the edge, and then we quick snap him here with an empty formation and spit the ball out to Clayton Barber, and then come back here and run the stretch, and Braden Presley gets behind the block of Noah West and Lawrence Bright, and then makes a couple guys miss in the open field, and gets on the board there. And we get our defense back out. You'll see Talon Javersack in the middle just gumming it up. Brody Sarton, Ryan Kerr from their inside linebacker positions doing a good job right there. And I think that's Isaiah Lewis in there from his defensive end position, a senior. We're getting some good positive snaps on. And then they're able to throw the out, but it's going to be short for the conversion. So the defense gets us the ball back once again. Running the stretch play out over the left side. Can't quite tell. I think maybe that was Brennan Presley or Braden Roller. Couldn't quite tell. And then right here we throw the streak to Ethan Hall. It was supposed to be an out route, but he wins right off the line of scrimmage, and so we throw the deep ball to him. And then right here we throw the ball out off the edge to Brennan Presley, and Brennan does a nice job picking up some positive yards. Using him all over, and then Reese Vernon right here on the field goal. So good to see Reese make a field goal and getting the positive columns there, and Reese is such a hard worker. We're proud of him. I think that's Clayton Barber there on the open field tackle. Clayton showing off his athleticism, and then right there they go try to go deep on Brennan Presley, and he's just so tough in coverage. Does a good job picking that ball off. And here's Braden Roller on the stretch play, getting some good blocking out off the edge. I believe that's Jordan Reagan from his wide receiver position, or Cade Cavender. Hard to tell from the wide copy here. And then we throw the out route right there to Cade Cavender, and he picks up some positive yards and gets out of bounds. Braden Roller on the inside counter play. Braden runs counter play so well right here. Good pass protection from the offensive line up front. Allows us to hit Cade Cavender on the post pattern. Get deep, stretch that defense just a little bit. And Bartlesville comes out right here, and they're trying to run the down and around and pick up some positive yards. One of their more positive run plays on the evening. That defense just swarming right there. Ryan Kerr on a good tackle, and then you'll see just our outside linebackers so tough. Ethan Hall setting a hard edge right there, and we get a little confused here on one of their pressures right here and let them go in a five-man protection, but Mason does a good job of scrambling around and finding, I believe that was Pierce Hibble in there for the conversion, and then we come back and Brennan Presley runs the stretch play and takes it to the end zone right there. So distributing the ball around to a lot of guys. We go in at halftime up 30-0, feeling pretty good about where we're at, but we know we're going to have to come out with a strong second half.
All right, shutout right now over the Bartlesville Bruins after one half. We'll have your second half highlights when we come back.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day. And our chicken is hand battered and cooked to order. Our Texas toast is grilled with just the right amount of butter and garlic. And our lemonade is always freshly squeezed.
Love the window.
And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy. You get $150 just for switching. And every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Welcome back. Spartans up 30-0 at halftime over the Bartlesville Bruins. Once again, I think we've talked about this before, Lauren. When you're up at halftime, you got a shutout like that. What do you do to you keep guys dialed in?
Well, you know, number one, and it's a bit cliche as far as halftime adjustments, especially when you're up 30-0, but they had given us a couple different looks, blocking scheme-wise, maybe we weren't handling correctly, and so you got to get some of those things corrected, and then also, you know, in a game like this, it was important for us to go back out, put together a drive or two with our starters, execute well, and really, really put the game away, not let them hang around, and so I always am worried. Of course, I'm always worried about everything, but I'm worried about our guys maintaining focus through the locker room, because obviously when you're up 30, it's much different than when it's tied or before a ball game and all those. And so far this year, we've been in that situation quite a few times, fortunately, and our guys have responded well. Well,
fortunately, Spartans do remain focused and dialed in. Let's take a look at the second half highlights against the Bartlesville Bruins.
Yeah, and then when offense comes out right here, and like I said, we want to come out and execute well immediately, and we throw a little hitch right there to Cade Cavender, and then we run the jet sweep to Clayton Barber, and Clayton, I don't know, I thought he was all waddled up, and then all of a sudden I see him shoot up the side and make some people miss. Clayton's always had a bunch of wiggle, but after he came back from track this year, I think he was a step faster, and he showed you that right there on that run. And then we get our defense back out here, and once again, Noah West. And not only is Noah going to be physical when he tackles you, you better hang on to that football. He's going to try to rip it out. And then you see us right there in the middle doing a good job and bringing a little pressure there to Bartlesville. And Mason does what Mason does, and he protects the football, and then he scrambles, and then he does what we want him to do right there, get out of bounds without taking a hit. And then we run the down and around to the boundary right there. Braden Roller does a great job knowing down and distance, moving the chains, and then come back here and we run the fade to Cade Cavender. We get some one-on-one coverage with the corner that we feel like we could take advantage of. Get that defense back out right here, and that's Isaiah Lewis, I think, in on that tackle from his defensive end position, having a good night from the senior. Braden Roller up inside on the stretch play, and then come back on the counter play. This is young Braylon Presley, young freshman right here, making some guys miss and then showing his speed on the corner, making one more guy miss to get into the end zone. And then we got them bottled up inside. Talon Javersack, Hayden Haynes, Jake Savage, those senior defensive tackles doing a fine job in there. And then you'll see Clayton Barber coming up, filling from his safety position. Clayton, our safeties, other safety Cade Cavender having a big night. Jordan Reagan, junior wide receiver, very good player that we're excited about. He's going to do great things for us in the future. Then we hand off the inside zone play right there to Braden Roller, and then right here Mason calls his own number and pulls his own read. and then gets into the end zone right there. Another situation maybe where we coach Mason up on just going ahead and handing it off and getting us in the zone there. Defense running around right there. I got a lot of guys around the football. And then we bring the inside pressure on the blitz right there. I think that was Brody Sarton, but it's hard to tell right there. And then once again, you'll see Isaiah Lewis from the defensive tackle position doing a good job. And then senior Tyler Long coming in to tote the rock right here. And Tyler doing a good job of knowing down and distance. Tyler is a very good player. We're fortunate at Bixby. We got a lot of good running backs, but Tyler is very, very good as well, and probably doesn't get as many carries as he would at a lot of other programs around. And then you'll see Corbin Steele right here pulls the ball down at quarterback and does a good job of picking up some positive yards right there. Once again, coaching point, go ahead and get out of bounds if you're a quarterback and don't take that hit. And then young sophomore Dakota Davis sticking his foot in the ground and getting vertical right there on the touchdown. And got some younger guys in here. You'll see Kai Roller in from his nose guard position and see us rallying around. And then a big hit out. And can't tell who had that interception right there, but it ices the game with the score of 65-6. And taking a look at stats on the evening, it's hard to believe I had to do a double take and go back and check it, but 36 first downs to Bartlesville's 8, 723 yards of total offense to 231. Passing, 389 yards passing to Bartlesville's 157. Rushing, we had 334 yards rushing to their 74. Reduced the penalties from last week. We had 9 penalties for 65 yards. Turned the ball over twice. We're going to have to fix that. Mason Williams had another big night, 22 of 31 passing for 349 yards and 4 touchdowns. Corbin Steele, 3 of 4 for 68 yards. Braylon Presley leading all rushers, 10 carries, 100 yards. Brennan Presley had 3 carries for 73 yards. That's nearly a 25-yard average. Braden Roller, 13 totes for 65 yards. Receiving, Cade Cavender, 122 yards. Clayton Barber, 93 yards. Caleb Parker, 54 yards. Ethan Hall, 52 yards. Brennan Presley, 21 yards. Just distributing the ball around. A lot of guys getting touches, tackles. Ryan Kerr leading with 11 tackles. Brody Sarton with 10. Ethan Hall with 7 tackles, Noah West 5, and then Noah had a big sack. So, like I said, distributing the ball, a lot of good stats. A good evening for the Spartans, Mark.
And our final stats, as always, are presented by Primo Mitsubishi. So the Spartans right now undefeated in district play. You head on the road and then on the fall break before you close out with a couple of games left in district play at Sand Springs Thursday night, 7 o'clock. And the Sandites they've kind of struggled a little bit, kind of up and down this season. Yeah, but the one thing you know about the Sandites, they're fighters. They're always tough. We go in and we face a team every single year, sometimes twice a year, that's well coached. They're physical, and they do not let up. They don't take their foot off the gas. And so our guys are going to have to prepare well and be ready to go when we go over to Memorial Stadium. And outside of football, Dustin Kennard dealing with something that nobody wants to deal with. No, it's unfortunate. You know, he's gotten some bad news and has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and you know, we're aware of that unfortunate situation here in Bixby, and I know a lot of different communities are doing things to reach out, and we got something coming week 10 in conjunction with Muskogee as far as to raise some funds, and I know Sapulpa is selling some shirts to help his family out with some of the expenses. All right, so the Spartans on the road at Sand Springs coming up next. We'll head on to our Player of the Week when we come back.
For most buyers nowadays, energy efficiency is one of the top things on their list. At RAUSCH Coleman, it's a top priority for us, and our customers are able to live in one of the most energy efficient new homes built. As a result of that, you're going to see that those utility bills are less than anything else you're going to see with a used home or an apartment that you live in.
Well, it's been a busy day of college football. Let's get caught up on the action. First up, Alabama. This play right here shows what eating chicken will do for you. Lots of broken tackles here. It's the chicken.
No idea what you're talking about.
Joey Galloway is here with chicken predictions.
My what?
Touchdown chicken.
Okay, are we filming right now?
Chicken, 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 chicken.
What is going on?
I don't know. Oh, that was weird.
New management.
Start your game day with the new Hash Brown Scramble Bowl from Chick-fil-A.
Nowlin Orthodontics sponsors our Player of the Week, and this week we turn to defense, and it's junior inside linebacker Brody Sarton who's on the show. Brody, good to have you, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, let's talk about playing inside linebacker here in just a second. Start off, just how's the season gone so far for you?
You know, I think start off with our D-line has a lot of, they're doing very good now. Getting in the season, they were kind of questionable, and then kind of getting them ready in practice, making sure they have high intensity. They've really been doing their job well, which makes it easy for me and Ryan to doing our job, and if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have the tackles we have.
All right, your defense playing awfully well, real high level, and on the back end, you got a lot of guys that can make a lot of plays. Talk about your secondary, those guys out there flying around.
Well, like Coach Montgomery said, we've been running a lot of man coverage here lately because just that we have trust in our DBs because very athletic. Every one of them very athletic. I mean, we might have some little mental errors here and there, but other than that, they've been doing a very fine job making us linebackers look good.
All right, tell me about now looking good, playing linebacker. You know, you're a tough kid, and there's a lot of physicality goes with that position, but there's a mental aspect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you have to learn. You might just talk, especially maybe the little kids that are watching that would want to play inside. Talk about the mental process of being an inside linebacker.
You know, the mental process of you just got to bring it every day. I mean, it's a very physical position. You're in on almost every tackle. You're reading. You got one key that you read the whole game. I mean, if you don't read that key, you don't make that play. Or if you miss a pull, you don't make that play, and then they could bust it up the middle and score a touchdown.
Now, how long have you played linebacker?
I played linebacker since, I'm giving it 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit of outside, and then they moved me to inside, and ever since 7th, 8th grade, I played inside.
All right, let's talk real quick. The offense that's really been growing as you guys have moved along. How well do you think they're clicking?
You know, I'm really proud of the way our offensive line's gotten better. I mean, beginning of the season, it was kind of, Mason was getting hit a lot, and then it's almost like they just clicked. And Mason's gotten better too from scrambling, knowing his job. Our running backs are actually hitting the holes now. We're actually getting more rushing yards every game. And I just feel like they're doing much better.
All right, well, on to better things this next week against the Sandeyes.
Sure.
Good to have you. Brody Sarton and junior inside linebacker. We're going to talk about the little guys when we come back. We'll have our youth team of the week.
Your home from the very start is on a very, very tight schedule. And what that ensures is that something's being done on your home every day. Quality is what our reputation is based on. It's the quality that people expect to get when they buy a home. It's the quality they expect to get when they're making the largest purchase of their life.
At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day. And our chicken is hand battered and cooked to order. Our Texas toast is grilled with just the right amount of butter and garlic. And our lemonade is always freshly squeezed.
Love the window.
And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
It's time for our youth team of the week, which is sponsored by Midwest Sporting Goods, and we head to 5th grade. This week, Fabian Harris is the head coach of 5th grade Bixby Blue. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, well, let's talk about your team kind of in general here. We'll start. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have on offense.
Well, we have a pretty good offense. We run the jet sweep and have some really good players. Have up front with my son, Fabian Harris. He leads the way in blocking. And we have Emery Snyder, which plays receiver. and we have Chandler plays quarterback, and they're a good ball team, and we run a good offense, and it's tough to stop.
All right, let's turn our attention now to the other side of the ball, and let's talk a little bit about your defense. Tell me about them.
Defense is good. Most of our players play both ways, and defense is hard-nosed. We got up front Sam DeWoody nose, and we have a middle linebacker, Owsley, Aiden Owsley, and he does a real good job for us. And at safety, we have Emery Steiner as well, and they do a real good job on stopping the offense.
All right, well, I always tell coaches, coaching kids has to be a challenge. When you have your son on the team, you have a little bit more of an emotional investment. What's it like coaching your son?
It's good and bad. Sometimes my language get a little colorful, but I'm trying to teach them the value of life through sports, and what's important is how to be a team player and how to get on the field and do what he's supposed to do his job, and be a leader. So those are the things that I really concentrate on, with his attitude and how he reacts with the other players and his response to the coaches. And I like for him to be coachable, whatever sport he's been, whatever sports he's playing in. So he's a good kid. So.
Let's talk about the Indian Nations in general, the Bixby organization. What's it like coaching here in Bixby?
Oh, I love it. It's been real fun teaching the kids how to play the sports, and the organization is ran well. That the parents are involved, the coaches are involved. We don't have any mix-up with games. You show up on time, and the officials are there, and it's ran real well. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Fabian Harris, 5th grade blue. That'll do it for this edition of the show. Once again, Youth Team of the Week, sponsored by Midwest Sporting Goods. Spartans will take the field on the road in Sand Springs, 7 o'clock, coming up this Thursday night. The Bixby Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Eat more chicken. Primo Mitsubishi, where the value always exceeds price. Midwest Sporting Goods. Put some Midwest best on you. RAUSCH Coleman Homes, improving quality of life one home at a time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love for the game. Nowlin Orthodontics, live life smiling. Hot Coffee Design, find us at hotcoffeedesign.com. Advanced Plastics, building partnerships through willingness, versatility, and knowledge. Car Country by Nelson, where you'll be treated like a superstar. Billings Construction Group, our service is unequal. Western Sun Federal Credit Union, TTCU, the credit union, Allstate Insurance. You're in good hands with Patrick Alford. Matthews Ford, Fleming Construction, Tulsa Bone and Joint, Roofscapes, and by Baker Pools.